So, like I was saying that a lot of people think that talent is enough. And the way I want this session to go, I will tell you some of my mistakes or kind of carry you through my own journey. When I started as a musician, I absolutely thought my voice was enough. But experience taught me that there were so many other things that I had to equip myself with. So, in the music business, your music is your product. Your audience is your market. Without a clear business approach, you could be leaving money and opportunities on the table. And that's not wise, is it? So, the way we consume music now, or content, not just music, but the way we consume content now is totally different from the way we consumed it 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. I remember that when I started as a musician, to get my music across to radio stations and people that I thought would plug my music, I'll use a CD. And for so many of us, we used or listened to CDs, right? I am a huge fan of Beyonce. I love her work ethic. And I used to buy her CDs a lot, even her stage performances, because I just felt like there was something about her that resonated with me. But the world has changed, so the way people consume music has changed. So as a musician, I don't think that it's wise for you to think of just the rawness of your talent and invest in that. So when I say investment, I'm thinking vocal lessons, stage performances, and all that. You also need to know and equip yourself with the business side of things. So how does, what are the policies and the laws that protect you as a musician, as a businesswoman, or as a businesswoman or music business, so to speak? What are the laws that protect you? Let me give you an example. Like, remember I said that as we journey, I'm going to use my own experience and sort of like enlighten you with some of the challenges I had. I got signed into a record label at 18, and I was in that label for 10 years, no album. When I left, it wasn't exactly a very pleasant departure. Why? Because I didn't realize that I had signed 5 albums and 10 years of my life without anything to show for it. So at 28, I couldn't do anything in the business without first making sure that the company that had signed me before that probably had invested, but not invested enough for the artist to take flight, right? So I was in limbo for a very long time. And us as women, we're taught to be subtle in families. Your family will teach you to be subtle, speak to people this way, do this, do that. But then in the business place where you are not supposed to take charge, you now bring that kind of attitude to work without realizing that to cross boundaries, take territories, you have to be audacious. You have to be outspoken. You have to be stern if that has to happen, right? So at the time, all those different things that actually make me a better businesswoman and help me create a better space to work, I didn't have those qualities. So I stayed for another extra 2 years till I felt like they had forgotten about me before I started thinking. I didn't have a lawyer to advise. So anybody that tells you sign a contract without the presence of an intellectual property lawyer, that person does not love you. It doesn't matter if they met you in the gutter and they are making you feel like, oh, they are bringing you to kilometer 2 million. I'm trying to take you out of the Bronx, so I'm trying to take you out of the gutter. All that is emotional blackmail. If somebody truly cares about you, the person will tell you to get yourself a lawyer or get someone who at least understands, the semantics, the ABC of signing a contract and explains it to you so that whatever you're signing, you are very aware that you're putting your life on the line, right? Now, in business, I wouldn't advise any artist to sell their masters, to give out their masters. It's possible for you to own your masters. But I will be honest and tell you that our fingers are not equal. There are certain people that come into the industry with nothing at all. And then when the opportunity comes, what happens? But anyway, remember I said I was going to tell you my own experience. So for those of you who are jotting things down, I'm going to say, okay. So remember, we're talking about CDs and the way the industry has evolved. So now we have distribution networks. We have, for example, Spotify, we have AudioMac, we have all this. And then you also have platforms that can help you distribute your music. Now, why am I mentioning that? As low as #1 is an income, you can't discard the value of the little money that you think you can earn. Does that make sense? So when I talk to young artists, I tell them, how do you build an audience that can help you start getting an income? And I'll use one of our musicians, he's an amazing singer and songwriter. And the reason why I'm using him as an example is because I followed his career from early 10, so maybe like 2015. I'm talking about World. So follow me. World was a songwriter, but people didn't really know him as a musician. Do you know what he did? He went on SoundCloud, created an account for himself, and started getting an audience. He will post free music, but you are not able to download it. So you will listen to the music for free, but you can't download it. Now, do you know what he was doing? He was creating an army. And so he just kept on dropping content and dropping content and dropping content. I knew 4 or 5 or more of world songs before the world eventually knew about him. And so what did that do for him? The minute he was ready, preparation is very important. The minute he was ready to take off, he already had a fan base that he had built. And that fan base started earning him money even before the record labels and other people started paying him for that talent. So you have to be very strategic in how you do it. Because the truth is, I can come here and tell you, 1, do this, 2, do this. But every gift and every talent is peculiar to itself. You have to figure out what works for you. Does that make sense? So I thought I'd use the world as an example. So now we're going to talk about core revenue streams, core revenue streams for artists. And on my list here, I have live performances, brand partnerships, merchandising, fan monetization. So live performances and touring, I know that you guys know what that is. That's when an artist goes around and is touring. But the reason why I said that talent in creatives, wherever you're coming from or what you're building for yourself is relative is because, take Nigeria for example, we don't tour. So how are you going to make your money? Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't really have the tour mindset. I don't know if it's mindset. Can anybody give me a word? Culture, that's it. We don't have the tour culture. Not because we don't want it, but there are so many other things that affect it, from security to, it's a lot. So how can an artist now make money in this dispensation? So depending on the kind of artist you are, you can decide that you're going to brand yourself as a corporate artist who sells their music and sells their brand, because your music is not just you. Your music also speaks of you, but your brand is what engages the fans. Your brand is what will make the fans say, okay, I'm going on a lifetime journey with this artist. I started listening to Usher at a very young age, and I'm still listening to Usher because he's carrying me on his journey. So if Usher is, he's in Las Vegas, for example, and I can afford the ticket, why won't I go? So do you understand? It's not just about the music. You are your brand. So how are you cultivating that to make sure that you're earning money? So live performances. You can tailor your brand to appeal to corporate. Like, me, I'm not exactly in every rave, but I do more corporate events, I do more weddings. That's how I make my money. Because I have tailored my brand to cater for that. Now, this whole Women's Month, I've been so busy. Why? Because people know that I've tailored my brand to speak for the women. So it's not like I won't speak for the men, I love my brothers, but it's almost like Waje and women synonymous. We know that this is what she's about. So, no, however young you are, you have to start making sure that you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's with your brand and the people who your audience is, the people you want to buy your music, the people who you want to connect with you. Now, connecting with you is not just about, just imagine that you decide that merchandising is also another branch that you want to go into. If you're not someone, okay, let's say you're someone that always wears braids, and all of a sudden you have a brand that sells hair as a musician. I will not understand it because you've not sold, that's not your style. And artist, the reason why Rihanna is where she is because she's been able to monetize what people love about her. So everything you see her push is her. I have a fitness brand called Affirmations by Waje. You know why? Because everybody knows I stay in the gym. I mean, you don't know. And then, no, I'm not going to tell me true. Make I know that I will go do my own work. Exactly. I love to stay in the gym. When I wanted to start with the merchandise, my manager said to me, what I really wanted was perfumes. And my manager said, perfumes, yes, but what do people know you for? So I had to go back and do my homework. People know me for my voice. People know me for my stage performance. People know me for fitness. So it won't make any sense for me to start pushing something else that I can't earn from, right? So I started the match, which is Affirmations by Waje. So I have 1 minute left, so let me just read out this for you so that you guys get it. So how do we turn our how do we turn music into profits as creative? Or if you're a dancer, or if you're a producer. And in the last year, or let's say in the last 3 years, I've found out that long-term investments also work for us. So even as you invest in the creative side of your life, also understand that there are other avenues that work in, like real estate. Real estate is such a huge investment, long-term investment for anybody. And there are also organizations that help you invest in real estate without, even if you don't have all the money, like you just want a piece of something that you know you're keeping for your future. There are organizations that do that. So my dream is for creatives to have equity. And not just equity in the industry, but in every other aspect of the industry. So stock, market, and funds. Get education, figure it out, like get knowledge. Find out what are the things that you don't understand about finances. Even if you're not the one, right, who is doing it, can you talk to a financial advisor? Are there ways that you can come up with your friends? I have 5 best friends. Do you know what we do? We save money. At the beginning of the year, we tell ourselves, we save $40K. What are we going to do? Use it to buy property. All of us will own it. As it's appreciating when we sell, whatever we do with it, we're sharing it based on the amount of money everybody brought in. So if tomorrow I want to do a concert, I'm not necessarily only waiting for someone to partner with me. I already have leverage because I know that there's income coming. Because the truth is, as great as music is, how sustainable is it? So be smart to know that as you are being a creative, you're a smart creative investing in other fields. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to. I keep to time. I have so much more to say, but you can see me on the other side.
Put your hands together for the amazing Waje.